All right, we're gonna make some rice pilaf, and I'm gonna use brown rice today, which, believe it or not, my kids actually really like. I used to make it just boiling the rice, which gets to be kind of dry and it's tough to eat. But with a little bit of butter and sauteed ahead of time, it gets a really nice nutty flavor. The rice seems to open up. You also don't have to rinse it ahead of time, which helps so it doesn't boil over quite as much. So we're going to take a little bit of butter, and in this case, since I'm just doing about a cup of rice, it'll be about a tablespoon of butter. So it's not a lot for all your rice. I'm going to put it in the pot. So we're going to take it over to the stove. And we'll get this started so that the rice can cook a little bit before we put in the chicken broth. So let's get that on a medium high, not too. We don't want to burn the butter or the rice. So that's just on medium. And go back and get the rice. And you can use any brown rice you like. There's a really nice Texas brown rice when you can find it on sale. It's a really good deal. Otherwise, at most of the other stores, these nice sort of basmati brown rice is great. It's a nice long grain. It's got a really nice nutty flavor. So once that butter is melted, and even before, just go ahead and put your rice in. The idea is basically you're just going to sort of coat the rice in a little bit of butter and start cooking it so it gets nice and nutty. Cooks off some of the starch. So again, you don't have to rinse the rice like it normally suggests. And then once we put in the chicken broth, it could take like 40 minutes, 35 to 40 minutes. So it takes a little bit longer than normal rice. Just keep an eye on it, but it's really worth the flavor. And again, it just tastes delicious. It's a nice break from your normal white rice. Okay. So I'm gonna let that just kind of hang out there for a minute while I measure the chicken broth. Now again, for chicken broth, I know there are a lot of different options out there. I try to look for one that doesn't have MSG if you can, and even the low sodium ones will be helpful. It's a nice brand I just found that has about 6 ingredients, so it's really good. And you'll see the color of this chicken broth is nice and dark. So this also adds a lot of flavor to the rice without adding a lot of sodium. And I do about 2 cups liquid to 1 cup of rice. But again, this chicken broth is going to help the rice not only with flavor, just to keep it really moist. Okay, great. So it is ready to go. Ooh, delicious. So stir that around, make sure everybody's ready to go. So you see most of the liquid in here has gone away. There's a little bit at the bottom, which is fine. Again, if we want to let it rest on the stove top while the rest of dinner is cooking, we could do that and leave the lid on. If you're ready to serve, let's bring it over here. And we'll put it on a little platter. Again, this rice is really great. It can just hold in the pot. It could hold in the stove. It can wait for you while you finish your other things. So it's all ready to go, though. It's very, very moist. Very, very steamy. It's delicious. Okay, so there we go. There's the rice pilaf. Again, you could add other things to it if you like. You could put in some sauteed onions or mushrooms. You could do more herbs. In the meantime, you're ready to go. So there's our rice.